Hi, it's Roma and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today in my kitchen, and I want to show you a recipe that I make for my family called chicken shawarma. Now, the first time I ever had chicken shawarma was in Paris, 2004. We had just come from the Louvre and it was like low 40s that day, high 30s. It was really cold. We were walking around being tourists and we came across this little takeout stand in an alley, and he was serving chicken shawarma. So we got these hoagie buns that had the meat that was shaved, that was going around on the spit, and he filled it with that and some fresh French fries and wrapped it up in foil. And oh my God, it was the most amazing thing we'd ever eaten. There was no talking, just eating until we finished them. And then the second time I had chicken shawarma was in Vancouver, British Columbia, in Robson Square. There was a yellow food truck called Mr. Shawarma. And they have these food trucks all around Vancouver. And I made friends with the guy who owned the truck. He's from Lebanon. And he served it with like a lavash wrap and put French fries in it. And again, the most delicious explosion of flavors with that hot, crunchy French fry. So I'm making mine today for you. There's no French fries involved, but I serve mine with a pita and I grill it. Actually, it's a grilled naan, not pita. And it is a simple recipe, tablespoon, tablespoon, tablespoon. I came up with my own formula to make it easy, quick, and sure to please a crowd of people that come over to your house. So let's get cooking. So these are all of the ingredients that I'm going to be using today. So we start off with 3.5 to 4 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. You want the fatty, dark meat. You don't want to use a chicken breast. This is what's going to soak up all the flavor. You've got your store-bought naan, or you can make it yourself. There's 4 pieces in this. I'll throw that on the grill at the end. You've got salt and pepper. You've got your olive oil. This is the only one we're using 1 teaspoon of, the garam masala. This is a relatively new spice to me that I only started using once I made chicken shawarma. And then we've got the 2 main spices that make up a shawarma is cardamom and coriander, okay? Then we've got cumin, we've got garlic powder, and we've got paprika, and then we've got another finer garlic powder. This is more of a granuled, this is a fine powder. I use both. I also have fresh garlic, and then this is what we're going to make our nice little drizzle. It's a faye, it's a Greek yogurt. I normally use Chobani, but today I could only find faye. And then I add a little honey into the faye, and it makes a wonderfully sweet drizzle for your chicken shawarma. Okay, so what I like to do is when I get my chicken thighs, I like to trim the fatty pieces off of the chicken. If there's not too much, I leave it alone, but when I usually buy a value pack or a large portion of chicken thighs, they tend to have a little more fat on them. And I basically just cut it off and I boil it. And I feed it to my pugs because they're my kitchen gnomes and they like to be part of the action. So that's what I do with these little pieces that I cut off. I don't like to waste anything in the kitchen. I always find use for something. So they are super happy when I'm making chicken thighs because they know they're gonna get some nice pieces of chicken and fat and a little gravy in their kibble. So I'm just gonna do this with all of the pieces, and then I'm going to set this aside. And there they are, Ben and Daisy, always lurking. They know a good thing when they've had it. They can't wait for dinner tonight. It's gonna be yummy. Okay, so now that we have all of our chicken chopped, we are now going to chop up our garlic. Now, if you don't have access to fresh garlic, you can use jarred garlic, which is in your produce section. And I use about 1 to 2 tablespoons of garlic. I'm a huge garlic fan, so I usually go straight for the 2 tablespoons. But I love fresh garlic, so here we have my garlic bulb. I'm using about 8 to 10 cloves here. I've peeled them and I'm chopping off the brown little bits on the ends of them where they grow out of the bulb. So you're gonna dice this up and you're gonna add it to your bowl where you're gonna make this scrumptious marinade for your chicken shawarma. So first up, we're gonna add garam masala. This is the only spice you're gonna use a teaspoon of. Everything else is on my tablespoon method. So you've got cardamom, and you don't have to have a flat tablespoon, you can round it up. This is paprika, smoked or sweet is fine. Garlic powder. I have two types. I have garlic granules, which I did first, then garlic powder. And then I just put in some cumin. We've got some ground coriander. This is all tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of each, makes it simple. And then I'm going to take the juice of 1 lemon on my juicer. And you're gonna put the lemon in, and you're going to then add olive oil. Now, I don't have a specific measurement for olive oil. What you want is to have a drippy marinade. So see how that's pretty thick? You're just gonna keep adding olive oil a little bit at a time until it gets a nice consistency that's gonna spread easily over all of your chicken thighs, just like that. See, it's pretty drippy. You don't want it too thick. Now you're gonna add all of your chicken thighs, and you're going to stir it up. You can also roll up your sleeves and put your hands in there and mix it all up. Sometimes I do that, but you're just gonna use your I have my spatula here, and I just keep turning and turning and flipping and turning until it's all covered. So this is just a store-bought garlic naan. You can make your own, or when I'm at the market, I always just pick it up. It's probably one of our favorite quick breads that I go to. And so I'm gonna prepare these. We're gonna go out to the grill next. But there's 4 large pieces. E likes to take his naan and wrap it up like this and eat it, but I like to just break it off. But I'm just gonna prepare these for the grill. And all you do is I put some of this on here, and I put some of this on here. And you're just gonna rub this around. And then you're gonna flip it like that. Make sure that it absorbs, plus this is another piece, and you're just going to put it on top, and that's plenty. You don't need to put it on the back, just on the front, okay? So that will get a nice sear after the chicken's done. I put that on when the chicken's done. Next up, we're going to make our delicious sweet sauce for our chicken shawarma. Some people use a tzatziki sauce. I like to use a sweeter sauce. So this is basically just 2 small containers, or actually 1. I'm just making 1 container in this video. 1 container of the Fage 0% fat Greek yogurt. And then you add honey to taste. So I add about a teaspoon of honey. It goes a long way in one of those little individual containers. And I just mix it up. And it's a really nice complement to the spiciness of your chicken shawarma. So now I've had my grill on high at about 500 degrees for about 10 minutes. And I cleaned it off, and I'm gonna add my chicken pieces. And you see how it's got that nice, both sides are completely coated with the marinade that we just made. So I'm gonna place them on the grill, one by one. You can fit this whole tray of chicken thighs. Now, some people use breasts. I don't think it makes a very good chicken shawarma because you really need that dark, fatty meat. It just really complements the flavors, helps complement the flavors. And fortunately, I live in Los Angeles, so I can pretty much grill 365 days a year. It is a beautiful thing. And I love my barbecue. And then I have my kitchen gnomes, which come outside with me. So now I've had the lid down for about 3 minutes. I've got a nice sear on one side. And then I flip them over. And I'm gonna do about 7 to 8 minutes on the other side. And then I flip them again one more time. But you wanna get those nice grill marks on it. and I tend to leave the lid off while I'm grilling it. Now that the chicken is done, I'm gonna add the naan, and I just put it the olive oil side down. I only put olive oil on one side, and that olive oil will actually help bring that flame up on the grill a bit, and it'll give you some really nice grill marks as it makes it crispy. Now you can just put it on for a minute or two to heat it up, but I like to put the lid on and let it cook. Look at that. It grills up really nice. And I like my naan crispy. I'm just, you know, a well done gal here. So, but flip it over. No need to put olive oil on the back side of it. The front side is fine. And then once your naan has cooked for a few minutes on each side, you are ready to rock and roll. Now don't put the lid down and walk away and leave that naan in there because it will burn. So you have to keep an eye on that. So now we've got our naan, which is done, and I'm cutting up the chicken, and this is how I like to serve it. He likes to eat it like a Sammy. Look at that. Well, it's showtime. Time to eat. This is what it looks like. I've got the grilled naan, which took a couple of minutes, and then the chicken took about 15 minutes. I start with a sear for about 2 minutes, and then I turn the flame down, open the lid, and look what we have here. We have this succulent chicken, and E likes to wrap this up like a little taco and eat it, but absolutely scrumptious. You taste all the flavors, the lemon, the garlic, mixed with that sauce. Now, if you're gonna make this, sometimes I'm out of paprika or cumin or one of those spices, but don't ever make it without the coriander and the cardamom, because those are the two most important spices. So I hope you make this. I'm gonna actually break off a little piece here. And this is really how I like to eat it. So you've got your pita, not your pita, why do I keep calling it that? Your naan, your grilled naan, your chicken, and that yummy sweet sauce. So I'm gonna eat my lunch now. I hope you make this. If you do, please drop me a comment below, like, subscribe, tell your friends about my channel, and I hope to see you next time. All right, bye-bye. To get my recipe, click the link below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell for future updates.